Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tacoma Cyclist. I am the Tacoma Cyclist, and Boogeyman's not here at the moment. So, I figured I would talk you through a ridiculously hard workout that I just did. This is part of my Road to 300 vlog, and I'm showing you a picture of what the workout actually is here, and you can see this is a lot of anaerobic work. To some of you, this may look like a particularly boring workout, but it is anything but a boring workout. You start out with a very simple ramp to get warmed up, go into some zone 1 stuff, go into zone 2 for a very short amount of time, and then you do some openers, some bursts, and then back to some zone 2 stuff. And then you're into the meat of the workout, which is anaerobic work. This is 390 watts for 20 seconds with a rest of 40 seconds. Except for that middle block, I accidentally made a mistake, and those are 25 seconds, not 20 seconds. And holy crap, that extra 5 seconds per interval, it's pretty freaking hard. You wouldn't think 5 seconds is, but it really, really is. So this workout is probably one of the most intense workouts I've ever done. It was supposed to be around 127 TSS, 126 TSS. I wound up clocking in 127 TSS. It was within 1 TSS of what it had specified. And that means that I actually was able to sustain the power that it asked for. Now, what we're looking at here on the screen is I've jumped into my workout into my 3rd set. And again, it's 3 sets of these intervals, and you'll spend an awful lot of time, as you can see here, in your zone 7 or your neuromuscular anaerobic, past anaerobic zone. And in total, my zone 6, zone 7 was over 22 minutes, so almost 23 minutes. And you can see that that is all up in that 375 to 425 workout zone with an average power of 212 watts over the course of an hour and 40 minutes. Now, I've got a FTP of 260 right now, according to all the tests. So this is a pretty intense workout, doing averaging that type of power. But on top of that, really focusing on staying in that upper zone 6 and zone 7 throughout an entire workout is a lot more challenging than one might think. Now, again, the way that this workout breaks down is it's 20 times per set, and you're on for 20 seconds at 390 watts, or in my case, 150% of my FTP, and then you rest for 40 seconds, which, if you've done this kind of workout, you'll figure out real fast that that rest is not really much of a rest, and you wind up being extremely exhausted by the time that 20th interval comes around each of these 3 sets. Now again, I inadvertently programmed in 25 seconds on and 40 seconds off in the 2nd set. That was just a straight up mistake, and I've since rectified that, and it lowered the TSS score on that by quite a bit by dropping off that extra 5 seconds. So 100 seconds extra over the course of a set in that higher zone makes a huge difference. Now, what's the purpose of this kind of workout? I mean, this looks like abuse on the face of it, but I think there's an awful lot to be said about this kind of workout. This isn't quite Tabata. This is not a Tabata workout. That would be less rest and higher intensity, but fewer intervals. This is really about driving yourself to exhaustion, but you really want to stave that exhaustion off as long as you possibly can. So you really want to aim for consistency throughout this entire thing. And ideally, as you get stronger, you can add more of these intervals or lengthen the time of each interval or even shorten the duration of the rest for each of these intervals. So this is a highly modifiable workout. But again, this is to increase that kind of anaerobic capacity. There's a lot of attention being paid nowadays to sweet spot workouts. And those that love sweet spot, you know, I think the folks at Trainer Road love sweet spot workouts. They swear by them. Those that don't love sweet spot workouts will tell you probably the same thing that I tend to think, and you'll hear it quite a bit, is that sweet spot workouts are great, especially for building that initial build, right? If you're new to cycling or you haven't been really racing and you really haven't pushed yourself, sweet spot can really build you up quite a bit, but you will plateau, and it won't take very long for you to plateau. So doing some of this anaerobic work can really help build your engine, your aerobic engine, as well as your some of those fast twitch fibers. So that's kind of the purpose of this type of workout. Now you can see at the end of this, I did in fact complete all of the segments, and they're relatively consistent. Now bear in mind, I don't use erg. I'll put a link up in the corner up here to a video that I've posted about why I don't use erg and what I don't like about it. But in this case, all of these workouts were done without erg. Now that one little blip down where I lost power there, that was because I actually paused the workout so I could start up this video. So other than that, it's relatively consistent, and I think that's what we're after here, is that consistency. So the purpose again of this workout, build that anaerobic capacity, which will in turn build your aerobic capacity and your engine in general. I like to mix this. If I do sweet spot intervals, those sweet spot intervals are typically going to be my Thursday workout. This is my Tuesday workout. My Tuesday workouts are my incredibly hard, intense workouts. My Thursday workouts are hard, but not as hard. And oftentimes it's just to kind of keep me in that zone, and that's where I might do some sweet spot. So you can tell I'm suffering a little bit here, but I still do my best to stay on that power and get it up there and be consistent. So again, this is the purpose of this is to build that engine and build that anaerobic capacity. With these 20-second intervals and 40 seconds rest, you don't really get as much rest as you think. This workout and Zwift in general, if you don't start spinning up your power on Zwift before you actually get to the fence for the next interval, you find that you possibly fail your workout, or you don't get your star. And I really like to get my star. So you'll notice here, right as soon as I hit 5 seconds to go up in that top center, as soon as I hit 5 seconds, you'll see my cadence will kick up, and then I start shifting up my gears. And by the time I get to the fence, you'll notice that on the right-hand side where my name is highlighted there, I'm at 6 watts per kilogram. So 6 watts per kilogram is, for me, 390 watts. I'm 65 kilograms on Zwift right now, so 6 watts per kilogram is exactly 390 watts. Interestingly, it'll read 6 watts per kilogram on the right-hand side, but that top center doesn't catch up. It doesn't read in time. And in fact, I ran my computer, my cycling computer at the same time, and oftentimes my cycling computer would say, you're doing 420 watts, but Zwift was saying I was doing 320 watts. So you do have to be careful when you're doing these types of bursts and these types of intervals, because you can overshoot really, really easily. Now in my case, what I would do is real simple. Again, I'm not using erg mode. I don't like it. As I would approach this, I would shift through a total of 5 gears. So I was in my 52-25, and then starting here, I would ramp up my cadence. I would shift 1, 2, 3. Here I would hit my 4th gear, where I would build my cadence up to about 100 RPMs, maybe 110, depending upon how fresh I was. Once I had settled in, notice my cadence just dropped, and that's because I shifted my 5th gear, and that at 90 RPM was right at 6 watts per kilogram, or right at 390 watts. And then you really don't let off the power until you get to that fence again, and that's really important. Now you'll see on the right-hand side, my power has already dropped considerably, but in the top center, it has not. So bear in mind with Zwift, you do have that delay on that big number counter. I tend to not like that. I get kind of frustrated by it, but once you understand what it's doing, that it is very delayed, sometimes as many as 2 or even 3 seconds delayed, and you recognize that number on the right is the one you really want to be paying attention to, then you can kind of solve this issue. So taking a look at the final output of this, again, holy hell, that was hard. That is an appropriate name for this workout. The TSS, as it states in Zwift, does not always match with the TSS or the stress score within Strava. Use whichever one you want. It doesn't really matter. Those numbers are relatively arbitrary. I've done some workouts that are 70 TSS that felt absolutely brutal, and I've done some that are 110 TSS that I thought I could do that all day long. I tend not to pay too much attention to that. So again, this was an interesting workout for me. I would not recommend this type of workout to somebody who has not done this level of intensity before or has not begun building towards race season. If you are relatively new to structured workouts, this is not the workout for you. If you are starting right after a long block of just sustained efforts or base miles, you don't want to just jump into this type of effort, but you can build to this type of effort. And I'll be completely honest, had you come to me 4 months ago, it's February now, if you'd come to me in October of this past year and said, you're going to do 390 watts or 400 watts, I'm going to round up because dang it, I want to. you're going to do 400 watts for 22 minutes in a workout. I would have at least laughed at you. I probably would have slapped you and then stormed out of the room, because that's just stupid. 22 minutes at 400 watts is absolutely insane. And I can tell you that that's not who I have been. I've not been the guy that can do 400 watts for 22 minutes in a workout. This is all part of that road to 300, and I've been building upon building upon building over the last almost 2 months now. It's been almost 2 months. So the first couple weeks of that were absolutely brutal, and I just felt absolutely miserable. But now, after 2 months of building and really adding structure and adding distance and adding intensity and adding miles, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I didn't cuss once through this entire workout, and interestingly, I was very consistent throughout this entire process. So I'm very pleased with the idea that building and adding intensity can be done very quickly. Now, I don't think my FTP has gone up considerably. In fact, my FTP is on paper 260 watts, according to the last time I tested. I attempted to do an FTP test the other day to just check in, but I had a mechanical failure in the middle of it, so I really wasn't able to finalize that test, which was frustrating, but I will test again. I don't think my FTP has gone up, but I don't think FTP is the final arbiter of your fitness. Like, it does not tell you all that you need to know about your level of fitness. There's a lot more to it. Again, 4 months ago, I certainly could not have done this workout. 2 months ago, I could not have done this workout. Yet again, on paper, I don't think my FTP has gone up enough to say that magically I can do 400 watts. It's all about that conditioning, and it's all about the overall build process. So that's really all I've got to say about this. The purpose of me posting this was to show you that there are other things than sweet spot workouts. I'm not a huge fan of those. They can come in handy for some things, but not for all things. Building that anaerobic capacity is great, and you probably have more capability in you than you think you do for that type of workout, but it does take some time to build up to that. This workout is incredibly easy to build on your own should you want to do that, but I will start posting some of my workouts on Google Drive, so people that may want to download them can download them and load them into Zwift all they want. I would do so with a word of caution that you don't just pick them randomly and slap them in place. You really want to build a workout structure around them, otherwise you could in fact injure yourself. So that's really all I got for this video for today. This was a very challenging workout. I can tell you that I can literally feel the calories burning on me. 2 days later, I can still feel that internal heat, that kind of thermogenesis that goes on when you really just crank up the intensity. Like, everything I eat is just burning off of me, and I like that, but at the same time, it almost feels like a fever. It's not, but I've taken my temperature, but it's not a fever. I don't have COVID. It's just, you can literally, as soon as you eat, you can feel the food just burning off of you, which to me means that I'm entering that kind of peak adaptation period. So again, that's my workout. This was an interesting one. Definitely the single hardest workout I've ever done in my entire life. And I'm only halfway through, or a little over halfway through, the 90-day build process. So with any luck, this kind of feeling of intensity will start to reflect itself in my FTP tests, and I'll start to see that number increase. My weight has already gone down. I'm 65 kilos on Zwift, but in reality, I'm actually about 64 kilograms right now. So I've got 1 more kilogram to go, and then I'll be down to my target weight. So fingers crossed, hopefully everything will work out well. Maybe drop me a line down below in the comments just to let me know some of your favorite hard workouts, maybe something you've built on your own. Drop a link to your Strava file that shows the hardest workout you've ever done. I'd be really curious to see what they are. I have gone ahead, I let my coaching license lapse last year, my USAC coaching license, but I have re-upped my coaching license, so I'm now, again, a registered certified coach with USA Cycling. I'm excited to get some more knowledge in my head, because I'm going to go do a lot of those continuing education credits. I intend to use myself as a guinea pig, but anybody else that wants some just general advice, I'm happy to give some to you. You know, if you want to do coaching, I can certainly do that as well, but I'm not really opening up myself to clients at the moment. But you know, just a little bit of free advice here and there, I'm happy to give. All right, so thanks again for stopping by. Hope this was at least a little bit enjoyable to watch and understand some of the complexities behind working out and what other options you may have other than just sweet spot junk all the time. If you like the content, you know, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. I've got some other cool things coming. I'd love to say I've got some Zwift races, but I'm not doing a lot of Zwift racing right now, so you're not going to see too much of that. And then hopefully real soon we'll have actual real races that I can splash up here and show you all about. All right, so thanks again for stopping by, and yeah, subscribe, hit that like button. See you guys later. Thanks.